although you have lost 2 of the 3 matches so far, you got fairly big totals in all of them. Does it suggest that you have got the measure of Indian bowlers to an extent?
I certainly think we're batting quite well. I would never go as far as saying you've got the measure of the bowlers. I think all the wickets we've played on, we've seen have been very, very good batting wickets. I think it's been challenging for the bowlers on all of those pitches. So it's probably more that the conditions are in favour of the batsman rather than anyone having the measure of the other one.
Okay. Shane Watson batting at number 3. He's been successful. Is that where you see Watto in the long term in terms of one-day cricket?
Certainly at the moment it's working really well for us, so I don't see much reason to change. His versatility there in terms of how well he plays spin. I think the way he came out the other day and just the impetus he provided for the innings, how he put the Indian spinners on the back foot, that's really important for us. So I guess if he can bat at 3 and get into that middle order a little bit for us, that's pretty handy.
Yeah, is Watto kind of is in a good place at the moment? Obviously, it was in Mahali where he walked out last time and said he was contemplating retirement. Does he feel like he's in a more positive place, frame of mind this time around?
Yeah, I reckon he is. Yeah. I feel like that's a long way in the past now. So I think that's probably been dealt with, spoken about a lot, and I'm sure he's certainly moved on. Feels like a long time ago.
He looks like he's playing happier. He's still got a little bit of plenty of fire in the belly, but he looks pretty happy at it.
Yeah, he does. I think so. I mean, I think he and Jimmy have been away for close to 7 months now since they've been home. So it's been a long tour for them. So I've actually been really impressed with the way they've been able to maintain their energy at trainings. They're both outstanding performers on game day in terms of how competitive they are, their energy, their output, their performance. So never question that. So I think they're doing a wonderful job, both those guys.
Did you speak to your bowlers after 362?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Am I surprised
Yeah.
that they got 362 in 43 overs? Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. That was phenomenal. I'm still surprised about it even a couple of days later. That was a phenomenal batting performance. Yeah, absolutely. We spoke. I mean, we speak after every game, whether we win or lose. We always go through and dissect and have a look at what you could do differently, what you did well, and that this game was no different.
Would you prefer pitches which give some help to the bowlers? I mean, and at some point you'll end up, nobody would like to become a bowler.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. It's hard to know what motivates bowlers on these wickets sometimes, but I think you just want good cricket wickets. Yeah, you'd like to see a little bit of help for the bowlers, a little bit of bounce if they bend their back, and a little bit of pace, a little bit of turn for the spinners. But you get that. I think you get that naturally around the world. Around here, there'll be different conditions depending where you go.
How do you weigh up the difference? I mean, obviously you played at Bell Reef and there's very little help for the batsman there, and a lot of help for the same as you compare that to some of these wickets. Is there a right balance between the two of those, or the extremes work?
I think that what you've just summed up is the beauty of the game, the different conditions around the world. That's what makes touring India such a challenge. That's what makes when India comes to Australia such a challenge for them. That's what makes playing at Bell Reef Oval compared to the WACA so different. That's the game. I think it's fantastic that it'd be boring if every wicket was the same. It'd be boring if every wicket was flat. It'd be boring if every wicket suited the seamers or the spinners. So it's not. It is absolutely nice to get some variance.
What do you expect from the wicket that he usually plays with a little bit more pace and bounce?
Yeah, it looks like it's got a little bit more grass on it. Whether that comes off in the next 24 hours, not sure. But it looks like it's got a little bit more. It might have a little bit more life than the Jaipur wicket, which would be good. Ground looks a little bit bigger as well, so that might be a bit different. But I haven't had a look at any of the past scores or anything like that, so I'm not sure what to sort of expect.
Paul's got a bit of experience in his grounds. Obviously, he's like to have you had a chat to him about what to expect from Mahali?
Yeah, I've had a couple of chats with Buff. Not so much specifically about the wickets here, more just to give us a pat on the back and say keep going well and keep backing yourselves. So, but yeah, once again, there's a lot of guys that have played some IPL here. There's guys that have played Test match cricket here, so we've got some experience. We'll dig into that over the next couple of hours, I guess.
If the wicket is a little bit quicker, any chance of Northern Isle
Oh, there is. Personally, I'd like to back the group we have. I think in the first game they were outstanding. I think they give great variation. We've got left armers, right armers, different paces, different skill sets. So I don't think one game where the Indian batters got on top of them it warrants a change necessarily. I'd like to back them in and give them a chance to prove that they can get on top of that batting lineup.
It's a long series though. I imagine there would be a chance for tonight to get to the game at some point. What sort of stuff would he bring? He brings a little bit of extra pace and some lower order.
He does, yeah. I mean, a little bit of extra pace, a little bit of shape with the new ball. Outstanding fielder, good striker at the end. So yeah, certainly I'd place him in an all-rounder category. I think the three guys that we've got on standby should all be ready. 7-game series, it's long. The travel, train, play schedule gets pretty heavy pretty quickly. So it's so the beauty of those guys is they were picked because they're ready to go. So whatever the role might be and whenever the time might be, I think they'll be ready.
George, like you were saying, different pitches and different conditions in different parts of the world and so on. But since the IPL started, and so many of you have been traveling around India over 2 months every year, has that made a difference? Made it easier or made you guys more comfortable when you're playing around India? Some people in your team would have played on these pitches barely a few months back.
Yeah, I think it has to. It has to have had a positive influence, not just the wickets, but just touring a different country and getting used to different foods, different cultures, different day to day. The ground conditions, it has to have a positive impact. Getting to know it better, knowing what to expect, being able to share that with your teammates. The more you can play somewhere, absolutely it helps.
Right, George. Is there a change of strategy on the cards as far as the short balls are concerned? Because the Indian batters handled it extremely well at Jaipur.
Yeah, they did. The wicket didn't give much help to the short ball there, did it? So I think it's just a matter of summing up the conditions. If the wicket here provides a little bit more pace and bounce, looks like the ground is a bit bigger, squarer here, so that might be something we explore. But like anything, all players are good if they know where it's coming, so it's about not being too predictable.
Roger, what do you think of this 2 new balls from both ends? What do you think of that?
I enjoy it. I certainly think it tends to help the bowlers a little bit at the start. When I first came in, I thought what was going to happen was scores were going to go through the roof. But I think what we've seen is that the bowlers have adapted pretty well. If conditions suit, England being a good example, you had to work pretty hard to get through the first sort of 10 or 15 overs to try not to lose too many wickets. But if you can get through to the back end, the ball tends to be a little bit harder. So that I think you can cash in there if you happen to have a few wickets in hand. So it provides a nice balance at the moment.
George, we've seen MS Dhoni choose to. Obviously, you won the toss twice, but he said he wanted to bowl anyway, in part due to the shoe factor in the evening. Can you kind of explain what sort of impact that has on the spinners? I think in particular it makes it harder to grip the ball, and have Xavier and Glenn, they having trouble with the dew so far?
Yeah, I guess that would be the issue. I think the ball tends to skid on a little bit more when that happens. It hasn't really affected us the first couple of games. I'm not quite sure. Once again, we'll do a bit of research if it affects it more here, if it happens more here. But none of our bowlers have had any issues so far.
George, obviously, India won the previous game, but the fact that Australia could put up that score and you played Ashwin brilliantly in that game. So that was the main strategy to go against Ashwin and the strike bowlers. That's working for you. So that's going to continue. Can you just give us an insight of the team thinking together and going against Ashwin, particularly to this thing?
I don't think we're targeting him specifically. There's guys who I think are comfortable or more comfortable playing him, probably the right-handers. So it's more about having a pretty clear strategy about how we want to play him. If guys feel like they can hit him, I mean, once again, there hasn't been much turn in the wickets. He hasn't been getting much assistance. So I think it's been really challenging for the spinners. But once again, I don't think I don't think it'd be showing enough respect if you just were targeting one particular bowler. His record's a very good record, so it's just a matter of playing him on each and every day. I think the key for us has been in both games we've had a really good opening partnership, so we've had that platform. Not losing early wickets has meant that certainly through the middle overs, the batsmen coming in can play with a fair bit of freedom.